All right. Thank you, Ryan. And thanks for being here, guys. This is pretty exciting, beautiful setting, an appropriate time to talk about liquor first thing in the morning, right? So my name's Joe Cannella, and Ryan mentioned, I spent about 10 years at Google on the sales side. Before that, I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, and ended up in the Bay Area via Santa Clara University, not too far from here. Is where I met, not where I met, but me and Mitch went to school together, met in high school. And we, while we were there, we co-founded the Santa Clara Entrepreneur Organization. There was no undergrad entrepreneur organization, so somebody had to start it. We did that with a couple of other friends, and ended up graduated and started working for this startup called Google, and stayed there for 10 years on the sales and marketing side, helping large retail companies grow their businesses on the internet. From there, I started a distillery. So the story goes. It has a lot to do with my family name. So my first name's Joe, my last name is Cannella. Now, my dad's side of my family originally came from Sicily. Anybody know Italian or Spanish or Latin speakers in the house? Cannella? Yeah, anyone? Yeah, Cinnamon, there you go. I am Joe Cinnamon. Been called worse, I guess, but that's where the story begins. So Joe Cinnamon, didn't think too much growing up of what my name meant until my first trip to Sicily, which was in 2010. So you go to the place where your ancestors are from, especially if you haven't been there before. It's kind of a cool experience. And for me, I didn't think too much until I started seeing my name around town. So it was Via Cannella, the street signs, Cafe Cannella. There's a women's clothing store chain called Cannella. Yeah, maybe. There we go. Okay. So this is me in Catania, Sicily, on the left, under the Via Cannella sign. So of course I was getting inspired. It was my last day before I was due to come back. I was at my little hotel bar, looking for something interesting to try. Drink as the locals drink, something new. It was my last night before I was due to come back, and I'm scanning the bar shelf, and my eyes locked onto a bottle of Rosolio di Cannella. Even the liquor in Sicily had my name on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to grab that. Have some little show and tell. This is the bottle that I brought back, or the second one that I brought back in 2017. So I said, okay, wonderful. What's that name? So I brought some back. I was chatting with the bartender. He said, "Oh, this is a very traditional digestivo, digestive. So you have after dinner, after a meal, for digestion. Italians are a little bit obsessed with digestion. If you know any, I think it's all the pasta and the cheese. I'm not sure. But brought some bottles back home, and it became a little after dinner tradition, basically. And then we ran out, and there was nobody bringing any more into the country, and so obviously I had to start making my own. I looked around at the marketplace, and the only thing that was cinnamon was like a Fireball or some sort of very different experience, very different type of product. And so I was living in San Francisco at that time. There were a couple of young guys starting a distillery. We got to chatting, and ultimately we went to market originally out of San Francisco. So we launched our first batches there, and they sold out, and it kind of gave us the momentum to keep going. Eventually I moved to Reno, Nevada, naturally. It was a family move, 3 children. Our 1-bedroom, 800 square foot apartment in San Francisco, as beautiful as it was, wasn't cutting it. So we moved close to family, and then ultimately opened our distillery, opened our doors in Reno in that magical time of February of 2020. So we survivors, I guess you could call us, from the beginning. It was a challenging time to learn how to make hand sanitizer. I hadn't done that before, so I figured that out and donated some and sold some, but ultimately took a little bit extra time to start to get our business going than we wanted to. Of course, the first product that we made was our Cannella cinnamon cordial. Of course, Joe Cinnamon had to make a nice cinnamon liqueur. We went on to make an amaro and Fernet, and then our Cafe Notte coffee liqueur. There will be a tasting during lunch, so we'll get a chance to try all of these things. The origin story of all flavored alcohol is also an Italian story, which works very well for my story. About 1,000 years ago, it was the 12th century actually, the Salerno School of Medicine was born. And some doctors and scientists were looking for some cures and remedies for the ailments of the day, and they had a new trick up their sleeve. So hyper distillation, the making of this magic fire water, was kind of a new technology at the time. The global spice trades and routes were being established, so spice and spirit kind of made it together for the first time back then for medicinal purposes. Very popular medicine. Eventually, you'd add a sweetener to it because sugar helps the medicine go down, and then that fast forward to modern day times is sort of the origin story of all of these different flavored liqueurs and like herbal liqueurs, which these days we use in cocktails, of course. So that's kind of the original origin story. You can go to the next thing here. On the left here we have our Cannella cinnamon cordial. On the right, our Cafe Notte coffee liqueur, which won a double gold award down at Los Angeles International Simple Words. This is the one I think that we have the most global potential. Coffee is popular and alcohol is popular. It has three of the most, we'll move on from it. So it's basically this connection from the old and the new. I'm taking an old, ancient origin story, or we're making modern, wonderful liqueurs that can be used your favorite cocktail bars. It could be distributed widely. So let's see, what else should we say? Let's see, this. So specific about the coffee liqueur, a little bit about the business side. You have a coffee liqueur out of Australia called Mr. Black. They brought it to the US, they gained distribution. Within a few years of that, they sold it off for $50 million to Diageo. This is kind of how the business works. The bigger companies, they don't have to take as much risk. They don't launch new brands. They wait for someone else to put in all the hard work and build it and gain momentum, and then they can go and then they can scale into global distribution. So they're now in, I think, 20 countries. I'm on the wrong slide, aren't I? Thanks, guys. Let's go forward. There it is, Mr. Black. So again, the concept. It took they got up to about 100,000 cases of product, and then we're able to get that exit, that acquisition, sort of from there. So a little bit on the market side. The thing is, they're tied to a specific distributor here in the U.S. So in order to for them, they're with Southern Wine and Spirits, basically Southern Glazers, and ultimately there's a huge opportunity to introduce a competitive product. Essentially, there's other distributors that need to get to market to compete, and there's others that are just as big that are trying to make that market. So we'll go back to the slide here. Awesome. So growth in the marketplace. We've got beer and wine and spirits, alcohol industry in general. The spirits category is definitely the highest growth category. Beer and wine are kind of flatlining a bit and kind of decreasing just a little bit year over year. Spirits, I think, mostly because of cocktails, right? Cocktails are more interesting. You can do lots of things with the spirits. You can combine them in new and interesting ways. Very different situation than as beautiful as a nice glass of wine and beer. I think that's the main reason for the growth of the category. Whether it's in a can, kind of pre-made, ready-to-drink cocktails, or the cocktail that's your favorite cocktail one. So go ahead, a couple. Awesome. So kind of looking ahead for us, and then I'm happy to take any questions. There's two things. So we'll be working with Barrett Augustine to scale. I think we really have a great product market fit, particularly for the coffee liqueur and our Cannella cinnamon cordial. Feedback's great. The sales are growing. It's our highest selling product at the distillery, which is open. You guys have been on the swing through. Definitely hit me up. I'll give you a tour. So I think that we're basically, from that standpoint, ready to go to market, ready to scale, ready to take on new distribution and sales contracts. So from a partnership standpoint, I think that's something that we're looking forward to get into new markets. If you feel like you have an outside influence in the hospitality industry or have any friends there, those are partnerships and deals that we're looking to make. And then also, we're working with Barrett Augustine actually to make a private label gin that hopefully will these type of events, and will be known to you guys more and more over time. We're calling it Jade Gin. We're a little tasting for that later as well. But we're also interested and open to creating new products for others as well. So my inspiration, of course, in this flavored spirit, these ancient origin story. I use my products to tell my story and talk about my family history. But wherever the rest of you come from, there's probably a flavor or an interesting story that you might have to tell. And we can do that, especially in this category of liqueurs, because we can use different flavors to kind of help tell that story. And of course, the branding and the marketing can kind of come together. So if you have a dream or a vision of creating something that represents you and the place where you come from, those are opportunities we're looking for as well. So that's kind of the gist of it. Yeah, I guess. Any thoughts, questions?
Any questions? Comments?
You mentioned you're taking an old world recipe with a modern spin. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, so the original vision, right? So this was the original model of the Rosolia di Cannella, which I discovered in Sicily. I saw out to not exactly recreate the recipe. I think I wanted to create something new that of course was inspired by the original, but I think ours is more complex. Most of our spirits have quite a bit less sugar, so there's a few trends there in addition to spirits category growing. Of course, health conscious. It's tough to talk about health conscious in the alcohol space. But what I really like also about this space of really getting having this niche of flavored alcohols is because you can very quickly go also non-alcohol, and so obviously a very nice growing category as well. We can kind of create those new products as well. But our Cannella cinnamon cordial is hopefully an upgrade with still with the history and the passion. Yeah.
Could we just see a few of the products?
Yes, of course.
All right.
So this was the original, of course, our Cannella cinnamon cordial. So this was the inspiration from Sicily, and this is what we ended up launching in San Francisco, and then we brought it to Reno, Nevada. It's got a blend of 4 different types of cinnamon, coriander seed, a touch of clove. I did not know that there was more than one type of cinnamon until educating myself. But yeah, this was our original bottle. We made it amaro, we made it fernet. We'll be able to taste all these crazy things later if you like. And then eventually we launched our Cafe Notte coffee liqueur. So this is it's a very special bottle. We partnered with a local roastery in Reno, Coffee Bar Roastery. There's coffee bars out here in the Bay Area as well. So they actually roast our beans for us. Very nice, high quality beans. So we kind of their beans and our booze, and a little coffee love child. This was the one that won an adult global award down in the Los Angeles International Sip Awards, and so we're excited to bring this to market. I really believe that this is the lead for our product line. We have a whole bunch of other things that will come along for the ride, but this is what we're going to try and push nationally and then globally. So. Yes.
Just curious about bottling. Is there a trend after you design the bottle, or is it because of distribution consideration? Because of the traditional bottle is nice and slim, short, tall, but you've decided on shorter one. What influences that? Is this also part of the design ranking or?
Yeah, you have the traditional kind of aspirational bottles here. So I like to joke during my distillery tours that I'm neither tall nor skinny, as you can tell. So I thought this kind of represented me, I think, a little bit better. And yeah, so it is a very important exercise, though. It really needs to speak to you. It needs to even some of the details, which we don't need to go into right now. I know what they are, and there's a lot of thought and detail that go into them. Kind of makes it its own kind of iconic thing. But yeah, I don't know. That's another joke. So. But yeah, and then this the whiskey bottles kind of started the trend, and there's definitely I think some value ascribed to these kind of new unique packages. So this This is actually half the amount of liquid is this, so it's a little bit deceiving from that standpoint. But 2/3, I should say. So anyway, yeah. Anybody else? Thank you.
All right, please help me give a round of applause to Joe.